We hear a lot about the future of AI in medicine, all the wild things it might do someday. But today, we're not talking about someday. We're talking about right now. We're going inside hospitals to see the powerful, life-saving tools that are already up and running. Let's dig into how AI is making that huge leap from lines of code to actual patient care.
Just let that sink in for a second. An AI that doesn't just react, but actually anticipates a problem. A system that can tap a doctor on the shoulder and say, hey, a crisis is coming, giving them that precious time to step in. This isn't science fiction, folks. It's the very real and very personal story of where AI in healthcare truly begins.
So we're going to start at the most personal level you can get, a single patient. For anyone with epilepsy, that constant threat of an unexpected seizure is a massive challenge. Well, now engineers at UC Santa Cruz have built a pretty groundbreaking AI specifically to forecast the unpredictable.
The whole idea behind this is just fascinating. It's called future-guided learning, and you could almost think of it as a time-bending AI. You've got one model, the teacher, that gets to see future data. It already knows when a seizure is going to happen. It then uses that knowledge to train a student model on past brainwave data, basically teaching it to spot the super subtle warning signs that show up before a seizure ever hits. And the result of this? It's a huge leap forward. This new method is up to 45% more accurate than the systems we have now. And that's not just a tiny improvement. For a person with epilepsy, that kind of accuracy could be the difference between a totally normal day and a medical emergency. It gets us so much closer to a reliable, wearable seizure forecast.
And this thing isn't some one-size-fits-all solution either. The AI is constantly learning and adapting to a patient's unique brain patterns. It's been tested and validated with real-world data from top-tier institutions, and it's even inspired by our own brain's amazing ability to predict things. The big takeaway here is that this is a deeply personalized and trustworthy piece of tech.
Okay, so that's an absolutely incredible tool for one person. But how do you scale that up? How do you create a kind of guardian angel not just for a single patient, but for an entire hospital ward, protecting them from a different but really common danger?
Well, you start with data. A ton of data. This particular AI model was trained on information from over 944,000 hospital patients. By sifting through that massive data set, it learned to spot the hidden patterns and risk factors that lead to one of the most frequent accidents in hospitals: patient falls.
And what did all that training lead to? A staggering 93% accuracy rate in forecasting which patients are at a high risk of falling. This is a total game changer, right? It turns fall prevention from a reactive checklist into a proactive, data-driven strategy.
This AI creates an entire system of protection. In seconds, it can evaluate a patient's mobility, their cognitive state, and even the risks tied to specific medical procedures. And what's really crucial here is that it's designed to be fair and unbiased, turning the everyday data nurses are already collecting into life-saving early warnings.
So we've seen AI protecting patients, but what about directly helping doctors? The next wave of AI isn't about replacing clinicians at all. It's about augmenting their skills, making them faster, more accurate, and giving them more time they, actually focus on their patients.
Take cancer diagnosis, for instance, which is incredibly complex. Researchers have developed an AI called Gleason XAI for grading prostate cancer. But its real genius is that it bridges the gap between being super accurate and being understandable. It was designed not just to be right, but to think and explain its reasoning just like a human expert would, building this crucial bridge of trust.
And here's how it earns that trust. It was trained on over 1,000 samples that were marked up by 54 experts from all over the world. It literally learned their exact terminology and how they spot different patterns. So when it makes a recommendation, it can visually show the pathologist why by highlighting the specific features it sees. It's a true collaborator, not some mysterious black box.
And this whole idea of integrating AI as a trusted collaborator, it's really taking hold at top institutions, like Stanford Medicine Children's Health. They're taking what they call a Goldilocks approach to new tech, not too fast, not too slow, to find that perfect balance between reliable, proven systems and cutting-edge innovation.
And one of the most exciting tools they're rolling out is the Ambient AI Scribe. This tech just listens in during a patient visit and automatically handles all the medical notes and documentation. The impact is immediate. It's freeing up doctors from hours of paperwork. They're even starting to pilot large language models, or LLMs, to speed up other processes, and the response from clinicians has been just overwhelmingly positive.
Okay, so with all these incredible tools out there, predictive models, diagnostic aids, AI scribes, a new, much bigger question starts to pop up. How does an entire hospital system actually implement all this technology safely, ethically, and effectively for every single person?
Well, here's the hard truth. Right now, a shocking 70% of AI pilot programs in healthcare fail. But the key thing to understand here isn't about the tech itself. These pilots don't fail because the AI is bad. They fail because of a breakdown in the process, the human side of bringing that technology into the hospital. To solve this exact problem, the Digital Medicine Society and Google for Health, along with dozens of partners, have created the very first evidence-based guide for adopting AI in hospitals. Think of it as a practical roadmap designed to finally bridge that gap between a promising idea and real-world impact.
The Playbook's mission is crystal clear. Make sure AI gets rolled out responsibly. It gives hospitals frameworks for evaluating these tools with a sharp focus on clinical quality, on building trust with both doctors and patients, and on making absolutely sure these powerful systems are equitable and benefit everyone.
But look, a playbook is only one part of the equation. Technology is nothing without the people who actually use it. So, for this last part, let's go right back to the front lines and see how the healthcare workforce itself is getting ready for this new era.
Check this out. Atrium Health Union in North Carolina just got a $100,000 award to do something really pioneering. Use virtual reality to train their nurses on how to work alongside these new ambient AI tools. And the goal is so simple. The old way meant nurses were spending hours and hours on documentation. The new way uses AI scribes to take on that burden, which directly translates into more time for hands-on, compassionate care right at the patient's bedside.
The training method itself is so cool. They're using VR simulations to teach nurses how to properly narrate their patient assessments so the AI can capture everything perfectly. The aim is to slash documentation time by 2/3 and basically make this AI-assisted workflow the new standard of care for nursing. So, as we've seen, this isn't some far-off future we're talking about. From the micro level of predicting a seizure for one person, all the way to the macro level of training an entire workforce, AI is already deeply woven into the fabric of modern healthcare.
The technology has arrived. The breakthroughs are real. So the crucial question is no longer, can we do this? But how do we do this right? How do we make sure these incredible advancements in care and safety reach every single patient in every hospital fairly and equitably? That's the real challenge ahead. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.